What's going on, everybody? It's Gem Live and welcome back to another video. And I wasn't even gonna make a video today, but this Nuggets Jazz series was so good and Game 7 lived up to the hype. It was just as good as any other series. So starting off, we have to talk about Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray, two rising stars in today's league. I believe they're both 23 years old and they were historically good this series. They combined for most points by two players on opposing teams than in NBA playoff history with 465 points. And just to say how good the first 6 games were, they did not score that many points in Game 7. And this series was amazing. This was the series I was most looking forward to in round 1. Round 2 has some very good matchups as well. We'll get to that. But I have to ask the question, did the better team win? And I'm going to bring this up in any series because the NBA is a best of 7 series. I believe the best team wins almost every single time. And I believe in the case the Nuggets, even though they were down 3-1 in the series, they won. I believe they were the better team. This doesn't happen all the time. Like in football, the Titans beat the Ravens. There was a lot of factors that went into it. There's one game, it's done. The Ravens were clearly a better team, but they did not advance in the playoffs. So their next matchup is going to be against the Clippers, and I'm going to talk about is who I think the better matchup is, if the Jazz were to win or the Nuggets, the team that did win. And I'm going to go ahead and say that the Nuggets are the better matchup for the Clippers, but we're going to talk about that in a second. The first matchup we're going to talk about with the Nuggets and Clippers is the Joker with Nikola Jokic and Zubac. So I feel like this is going to be the biggest matchup to look at when watching the Clippers series because the Joker is a very crafty with the ball. He can pass and he plays out at the 3-point line and in the post. And I don't think Zubac is going to be able to defend him in the post or on the outside. So I think that's going to be a very, very interesting matchup. Another reason why I think the Nuggets are going to be a better matchup is because they're very streaky shooters and they can shoot themselves into games and they play very good defense. They have a lot of wing defenders that can guard all of the wing players that the Clippers have. And this is why I think that the Nuggets would be better than the Jazz because the Clippers are a very sound team. They have a lot of depth. You know what you're going to get from everyone. You know what you're going to get from Kawhi and Paul George. Montrez and Lou Will are going to do their thing off the bench. They have some very good role players. Everyone knows their part. The Utah Jazz, I believe, similarly, are a very sound, good structured team. You know what Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert are going to do, and then all their other role players, you pretty much know what they're going to do. Why I think the Nuggets have a chance against the Clippers is I think the Nuggets are a lot more like the Mavericks who took them to 6 games without Porzingis. It's because they have so many X factors. Their role players are all X factors because now going into this series, you have no idea what Jamal Murray is going to do. We know he can go out and drop 50, but he can also drop like 13. Jokic can go out and get a 30-point triple-double, or he can't do that much. Some other notable players are Michael Porter Jr., Will Barton, Bol, Gary Harris. And I want to talk about Bol for a second because whether he makes a big impact or not in the series, he is an X factor because he is a matchup nightmare. And not only that, they don't have much film on him. They don't know exactly what he can do, but he can go out and get 20. Michael Porter can go out and get hot and score 25 to 30. And teams like the Mavericks that have like Seth Curry, Tim Hardaway Jr., that is how you beat the Clippers. And that's why I think the Lakers are a lot better matchup for the Clippers than the Bucks are. Bucks, very sound team. Lakers, you have LeBron and AD, ton of X factors. Because you know what LeBron and AD are going to do. You have no idea what you're going to get from Kyle Kuzma, Kendavious Caldwell-Pope, J.R. Smith, Dion Waiters. All these players can either do nothing, which the game they'll probably lose, or they can all go for 15 to 20, and that's going to be a big win. And another thing I think the Nuggets have going for them is they're used to long series. And the Clippers haven't had that much time together. They haven't been able to play with each other a ton. And they've been able to win pretty handily throughout the regular season. Now we get to the playoffs. The Nuggets this year and last year. I'm sorry, there's someone weed whacking outside. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear that. I hope not. But the Nuggets have gone to Game 7 series in this one, and then 2 series last year. So they know how to grind out series and most of all get the wins in crucial Game 7s. And I don't know what the mental strength or what what it's going to look like with the Clippers, because this is a new team, a newly constructed team. We don't know what that's going to look like. So I wasn't going to make this video, but if you watched any of this Jazz Nuggets series, it was amazing. We have to give it up to Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray. The NBA is in very, very good hands for years to come. And comment down below what you think is going to happen, how many games it's going to go. I think this Nuggets Clippers series does go to Game 7. As the series progresses, we're going to look at injuries, how people are performing, and I'll give you my final prediction in a few games in. All right, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, have a good one. Peace.